welcome to You Little Ripper. I'm Kurt Fearnley, former Paralympian, and on today's show, we find out if a human can be perfect.
Spoiler alert, it's looking good.
It's affirmative right there. And if you thought the two interviews were really good from yesterday, today we find out what's betterer.
Absolutely not. We can't continue. Betterer?
Betterer?
Kurt Fearnley, not a word.
Way betterer.
There's already a word. What's better?
Way betterer.
Oh, goodness me. I'm Georgie Tunny, ABC sports reporter, and I am in denial because we have reached the final day of the Paralympics. The closing ceremony's tonight. I'm not ready for it. You may not be either, but we here at You Little Ripper, as we always are, we're broadcasting from Wurundjeri country. We've got a massive show, the final show for now. Kurt, what was your You Little Ripper moment?
My OMFG You Little Ripper moment was Madison de Rozario in the marathon. That was incredible. I've raced 72 marathons. We've had Louis Savage has done another, probably 50.
Yeah.
That is hands down the best wheelchair marathon that I have ever seen. Granted, I've never seen myself race, but I'm just assuming because that was
Maddie had you.
For sure.
Yeah, she had you. Yeah.
It was just so exciting.
So it came down. So again, do the maths for me, Kurt. We know I struggle. 42 Ks. And it came down to Maddie in a sprint for the finish line, and she won by a second.
A second, but you know what? The sprint is just the tip of the iceberg. Susanna Scaroni, the athlete from America, who led and got a break in the 5,000 metres and won by about 300 metres, had a break until about 6 kilometres to go.
Wow.
And then the chase back that had 4 athletes, but the athletes that were doing the most work to chase down Susanna was Manuela Shah and Madison de Rozario. They worked their butt off to catch Susanna. And then on the final hill with about 4 kilometres to go, they had already passed her and Madison put the hammer down.
Is that when you knew? Is that when you thought that she had it?
That's the moment that she outpushed Manuela. Manuela, I looked at that field and went, Manuela is the best hill climber in that group. And I knew that there was a rise with about 4 Ks to go.
Yeah.
And part of my brain was just screaming, please hang on or limit the damage.
And we need to put this again into perspective, what Maddie has been able to achieve at this game. So she competed in the 5,000 metres, finished 5th, won the 800 metres, so already got gold in the 800 metres, bronze in the 1,500, and now backs it up with gold in the most thrilling marathon finish that we've ever seen on the final day.
Against the gold medalist in the 5K, against the gold medalist in the 1,500, who were both in the same events as Madison.
Yep.
And she came out today, and after that hill, she held about a 5 to 10 metre gap on Manuela Shah until the last probably 300. Manuela pushed right up and they got within a metre of Madison. Madison took the final corner perfect. She went from lane 1 and slowly drifted across into lane 2, which took the line of sight out of the finish line of her competitor Manuela. It was just the perfect move. You're not allowed to go and jut to the side and get in the road, but your line, you want it to just beat the final little spirit in your competitors. And you could tell Manuela was building up, and as soon as the line leaves her vision,
she stops.
It was done.
Yeah.
And Madison was able to just keep this amazing momentum to win by a chair length. It was, like I said, that was the best marathon that I have ever seen. It was played to perfection. It can't be the only You Little Ripper moment.
No.
If I keep talking, it will be. Georgie, what was your You Little Ripper moment?
It also happened in the marathon. It was the marathon T12, and it was my good mate, Jared Clifford. I love this guy. He's one of my favourite Paralympians. I've made it well known. He crossed the line second to win silver in that event, and you could just see he gave it, again, absolutely everything he had. He was running with his guide, Tim Logan. The synchronicity that they have when they run together is unbelievable. Like, their arms move at the same time, their legs move at the same pace, and I mean, it's at quite a pace too. But for that moment for me, when he crossed the line and you just saw him collapse to his knees, stop the watch. I love how you athletes, you always stop the watch. You find enough energy to do that after you've run 42 Ks, but just collapsed over the line, and he was so happy with silver. as he should be. It was remarkable to me.
He puts everything into it
Yeah.
every time. There is no holding any part of yourself back. To get that silver medal was just incredible. It must have been challenging conditions. We did see Michael Roger in that race as well. He would cross in 6th place.
Yes.
And he just ran his legs off as well. But Jared to be a few minutes in front in his second marathon, to get a silver medal, to see that amazing young man fall on the ground, and you know that he has nothing at all left to give. I love the bloke. Always have loved the bloke, but the efforts he's put in this week just seals the deal. Incredible human.
Remarkable athlete, and also a huge future ahead of him in this Paralympic team.
Massive future ahead of him, and we're there for it. A couple of amazing You Little Ripper moments, but we've got to do the best of the rest. Georgie Tunny, hit us off.
How do you go past Dylan Alcott yesterday? He won gold in his singles match, and then he also called time on his Paralympic career. He was so emotional, made me emotional. I'm sure it made you emotional, as we all know. But just what he means to the Paralympic movement, what he means to people with a disability across the world, not even in Australia. He didn't need to win gold. The gold just really summed up the whole Paralympics for me, that moment.
And Curtis McGrath got a gold medal as well. The guy is, we're going to hear later, but the guy might be perfect. I'm pretty sure. And another major bronze medal for the Australian team in Taekwondo. Janine Watson, our first ever medal, a bronze. I think she won the last comp for the bronze medal, 63 to bugger all. Yeah.
She's so strong, and her performance last night, again, so strong. What I love about Janine is that she was diagnosed with MS, and they said when you were 40, your life will be very different to as you know it, and you may not have much longer left. She is 40, and she just won a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games.
Nailed it. One loss in the entire comp. Incredible human. If you haven't searched her kicking the crap out of Riley Batt.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Search it,
Yes.
And you're welcome. We also had Michael Roger as 6th, as we mentioned, in the men's marathon, and the rollers finished 5th over Turkey, 74.58, equaling their 5th place from 2016.
I want to give a quick shout out to the Brazilian five-a-side football team. They won against Argentina, two football powerhouses, as we know. They defeated Argentina, but it was their 5th straight gold. So a quick shout out to them. I love that sport. I've loved watching it this Paralympic Games. On the track, James Turner, Jimmy the Jet. He is a superstar. Silver in the men's 100 metres T36 final. He was a little bit disappointed, but I hope that he isn't for too much longer, because what a race. He is an absolute champion. Bronze for Nicholas Hum in the men's long jump T20 final. He has a new baby girl, Holly. So that is going to be an excellent toy for her to play with, that bronze medal.
Also the teddy that they get as well.
Yeah.
That was a really nice moment also. And Dion Kenzie with his bronze medal, as well as Daniel Bouty got 6th. But another incredible announcement overnight. Ellie Cole, the wonderful Ellie Cole, friend of the pod. Being announced as the flag bearer for the closing ceremony. You couldn't get a better person. You couldn't get a better representative. The perfect choice, and I will be glued to the commentary tonight because I'm commentating it as well.
You never sleep, Kurt Fearnley.
Sleep?
What is that?
I slept once.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, you can't during the games. It's every 4 years.
Yeah.
You can sleep after that.
Yeah, sleep's tomorrow's problem. Now we've got to get to the man of the moment, the 3-time Paralympic gold medalist. The guy is perfect. He is incredible. There is very little that I think Curtis McGrath can't do.
He could do anything.
Anything. An amazing man, an amazing comp. What an incredible result. Curtis McGrath, welcome to You Little Ripper.
Hi guys, how you going?
Mate, how are you going? The gold medal yesterday, the gold medal the day before. There is so much excitement and love for what you did. How have you pulled up?
Yeah, really well. I actually slept probably the best I've slept whilst I've been in the village last night. So it was maybe a couple of beers might have helped that. But really happy with the result and bringing home the 2 gold. And I wanted to come here and stand on top of the podium twice, and to do it with the gold medal was really awesome.
Talk me through the races, Curtis, because you had us worried a couple of times in the qualifying stages, but you just kept cool, calm.
Not me.
No,
I
actually.
wasn't worried.
He's like, Kurt's just shaking his head at me. He's like, absolutely not. I knew from the get-go that he was going to be fine. But talk me through those finals, because there was a couple of glitches in the heat rounds, and then you just were flying.
We haven't competed in 2 years, so a few cobwebs there, and got all them out of the way on the Thursday and the heats. And then, Friday executed the right race in my semi, gave me a lot of confidence there, and against one of my main competitors, the Brazilian there. So really nice to get that out of the way, and then line up on Friday afternoon and come through and execute again. A little bit slower, but at the same time, exactly what I wanted to do, and nailed it, which was really good, because I've been working a lot on my starts in the kayak, and that's something that's really important over 200 metres. It can make and break your race.
Mate, the last probably 100 metres, maybe the last 75, absolutely. You were able to just power away from your competition in both events. What is it in you that makes you the person that has strength in that final little bit when you're seeing the finish line?
Well, if you go back and watch my races again, you'll notice my stroke rate's a little bit slower than everyone else's, and that sort of indicates that I'm not actually a natural sprinter. I'm more of a long distance paddler, so 500 and 1,000 meters is probably what my body type would be better applied to. So when it comes to the 200 meters, you really want to nail that start, and that's why I spent so much time on it, because it was one of my weakest areas, and I've always had a really good finish. And it's come through in my racing, and I've been very lucky. So, my V1 yesterday was a really good display of why the race plan is really important, especially with my style. You see most of the other paddlers had really high stroke rates and stayed on one side. I swapped sides in my V1. That's 0.5 of a second slower in terms of boat speed, but my fatigue is less, and that allows me to power through and put the hammer down when it comes to the end of the race.
Have you had a chance to talk to Rach yet, Curtis? And what's her reaction been? Because we've seen on the broadcast that your whole family has just been watching very, very closely, as have Kurt and I.
Of course, I want to know whether the party stopped at home. That's the question.
Yeah, I have spoken to everyone. I just actually called my parents just before to say wish them happy Father's Day to Dad. But also, chatting to Rach, and she's on cloud nine and always sharing the love and support with me, and it's great to have them in my corner, and beyond that as well, my friends and their extended family, and it's been a magnificent way to connect. The beautiful thing about the internet is we're always connected, and we've felt that definitely here in Australia with you guys tapping in, and also with the coverage with Seven. So it's been really cool.
Mate, you're the perfect guy. You've already made the Father's Day call. I got out of bed. I watched a bit of telly. I've had a few croissants, and you'll won gold medals. You've got to hang over and call them for Father's Day. My mum is correct. She said that Curtis McGrath, he's got a real Superman vibe going on. He's just amazing.
Can you confirm, Curtis, is your real name Clark Kent?
Let's have a look. No, there's nothing under my another Australian outfit. So I'm super pumped with my results, and I'm glad that I could bring home a couple of gold for Australia and contribute to such an amazing team and an amazing country that supported me to achieve my goals.
Mate, it would have been a pretty tough last 12 months, holding on from that 4-year period, pushing it out as defending champion, as world champion, pushing it out that last 12 to get here in 2021. How do you reflect on that now that you've got those 2 medals under your belt?
Yeah, there was, like you said, a little bit of added pressure coming from Rio as a defending gold medalist and trying to back that up. And as I said before about, working on my slight weaknesses in my race and executing that all correctly. And, I can put it down to my team and everyone that supported me, and even my Olympic teammates that I did a lot of training with. They've been instrumental in pushing me and driving me, and having someone there for me to chase and someone there for them to push too. And I'm super grateful for that. But, just despite, the COVID situation, it's sort of been a blessing and a curse in its own right. It's given me the time to, fix those weaknesses, but also I've picked up, a little bit of an injury on my arm that's sort of, it's just a niggle. It's just been there all the time. And I've, had a lot of physio, and the physios get me together, and Kate's done a great job there. So at the same time, we're pushing towards what we achieved in the last couple of days. And I'm just grateful that that's what's occurred.
Curtis, you've had an amazing journey so far. In the Paralympic team, 3 perfect gold medals. You've served for Australia in the armed forces, but I'm pretty sure this is your toughest challenge yet.
Fast 5.
All right, mate, what do you wish you had in the village but you can't get?
Cheeseburger?
Strong. What's your superstition?
I don't have a shave before my races, like the day before, the night of. Yeah.
Why? Where did that come from?
I don't know. It's worked for me so far, and I'm going to hold on to it.
Mate, for sure. I don't care what you do from now on in. If it's important, you just hold that shave off for 72 hours.
Yeah.
Mate, what is your all-time favourite Paralympic moment?
I think it happened today, and Maddy de Rozario winning the marathon. That was amazing. Pushed all the way, and for her to come through, and she had an amazing interview after it, and I'm amazed by her efforts and determination in such a difficult event. So Maddy's goal was pretty up there.
Friend of the pod.
Madison
de Rozario.
Yep. We might get her on this episode as well, Curtis, so you'll be sharing your episode with Maddy. So I'm glad that she is part of your Paralympic folklore. Who's your favourite teammate?
My favourite teammate? My roommate, Dylan Littlehales. He's had a bit of a tough games. 4th. Threw a little bit of a tantrum in the Aussie room after his event, and broke his sunnies, then built them back together, and has always got a smile on his face regardless of that, and always a bit of a prankster and a jokester. And a lot of people don't see him the same way I do, and he's just an all-round good guy and always there to help. He actually loaded half of the Olympic team's boats into the container to head back to Australia, so he's a outstanding man.
Mate, if you weren't the amazing kayaker, canoeist for the Australian Paralympic team, what event would you be in?
I've been looking at that five-a-side soccer, the blind soccer. That looks awesome, but I think I'd have to go with something that I really enjoy, and I reckon it'd be the triathlon. As hard as that looks, it's, dabble with everything. It's outside, it's in the elements. There's lots of different technical and complex sort of movements and transitions. It's a really exciting race, and that even actually going back to my favourite moment is also Lauren Parker's silver medal, and just that heartbreak, but that effort, and that it's an amazing event to watch.
Mate, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You nailed this comp. Your career just now so incredibly impressive, and like I said, and I truly don't think there are too many people who have done for Australia as you have. It's incredible, mate. Enjoy the celebrations. Enjoy getting home and taking a minute. And thanks for joining us on You Little Ripper.
No, thank you. It's my pleasure to represent Australia and have a chat. So thank you.
Now we're speaking to a fan favourite.
Fan hero.
More contact, more people reached out to talk to this man than any other. Mm-hmm. It has hit the radar of the Australian public, and I have to be talking about our competitor in the Boccia, the incredible bronze medalist, the second medalist that we have ever got in the sport, Dan Michel. Welcome to You Little Ripper.
Wow, thank you so much, and thanks for that amazing introduction. It's awesome to be here.
Mate, honestly, everyone has just joined in on this ride to get our second medal for Australia in the sport of boccia. We've been seeing you across 7 all week. Everyone's talking about it. Have you had a moment to reflect on where your journey in the sport of boccia's journey has come in Australian Paralympic story?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a really wild ride. It's been incredible. I don't even know how long it's been, a week or so over here in Tokyo, a couple of weeks it's been now. Honestly, it's just been incredible, the amount of support I've had from people, I know, and even people I don't know back home in Australia. It's just been amazing to see boccia kind of come to the fore in the, I guess, the public discourse. And, it's been so cool. I guess the reflection, it's been a tough competition. A lot of days of competing, so pretty tired. But we definitely had some time to look back and just really appreciate what we've been able to do, and be really grateful for my position and what I've been able to do in the sport, and the people around me have helped me to achieve the success I have. And I'm just so excited for boccia to finally kind of be spoken about and be watched by so many people. It's really awesome to see.
Dan, take us back. When did you fall in love with boccia?
So I first started playing boccia in 2011. I was at a camp for people with muscular dystrophy type disabilities, and I'd never previously played a sport that I was able to actually play competitively due to my disability. So on this day, some coaches from Boccia New South Wales came out and demonstrated the sport. And initially I just assumed it would be another sport that I wouldn't be able to do because I'd seen so many, supposedly for people with disabilities, but I wasn't able to do any of them. So I assumed the same thing, but I for some reason, something inside me told me to go along and have a look and have a go. And I'm so lucky and so grateful that I did that, because I quickly realized it was a sport that I could play, and not only a sport I could play, but one that was actually designed for people just like me, and one that I was able to kind of take to the top level if I wanted to, because that was important to me as well. So I guess once I started playing it a little bit recreationally, I started to really appreciate the tactics and the strategy involved in the game, and just how detailed it is. And over time, it became a real passion of mine to try and become the best that I could be in this game. So it kind of grew organically over the years. And definitely after this Tokyo experience, the fire's in the belly even more than ever now to try and upgrade that medal in Paris.
Well, mission accomplished. You put boccia on the map, and Kurt's right. We have had so much audience feedback about boccia, about you and your success over in Tokyo here at the podcast. Everyone is talking about your sport, talking about you. What makes you so good at boccia?
Look, I think there's a number of skill sets that I kind of have that just have, been perfect for the sport. So, I've got quite an analytical mind and a good memory. And I think those two things go hand in hand with a good BC3 boccia player. So, the ability to remember exactly what the balls are doing on different days and across different climates and different courts and stuff like that is really important aspect of the game. And I'm lucky enough to have that kind of naturally, which is really good. But also the spatial awareness and I guess the strategic kind of side of the game. I've really enjoyed playing chess, and there's so many aspects of chess in the game of boccia. So I think I've had that kind of strategic, part of my brain that works quite well too. So just a few different things inherently, but also I guess over the years just accumulating the different skills, and I've been playing the game for quite a while now, and it's all just translated into this performance here in Tokyo.
Dan, you got on that podium, the bronze medal with you and Ash McClure, your ramp assistant. Can you talk me through that moment while you're there getting the medal around your neck?
Yeah, definitely. It was such an emotional experience. Honestly, I broke into tears when I was up on the podium. I tried to hold myself together, but it was such a overwhelming experience to be there and to have a Paralympic medal around my neck with Ashley. My assistant I've had since 2013. We've worked together for so many years and put so many hours in on the court. on and off the court, we're such great mates, best friends, and it's just so special to do it with someone that you have such a strong connection with. So it's just an amazing moment. I guess the weight of all the years of Australian boccia not really having success internationally kind of had built up to that moment, and to be the person on the podium kind of holding the flag for Australian boccia, it was extremely emotionally overwhelming for sure.
Mate, you also had another team there, or a teams event there with Jemison Leeson, and you also had another competitor, Spencer Cotty. How do you see the movement right now in the future of boccia?
Well, it's honestly going from strength to strength internationally and also back home in Australia. So I guess I hope that this kind of this little bit of success that we've had now can kind of just spur it on even more, get more people playing the game, more people involved in the game. But at the same time, myself, Jamison and Spencer, we've been such an amazing team together. And those two guys are so passionate about the game as well, have so much potential to be fantastic players in their own right. And I was really honoured to share the court with them in the pairs event. We came so close to maybe make it into another medal match with the pairs, just couldn't quite get across the line. But we've got so many good things coming down the pipeline for sure. And with those two guys by my side, I know Australian boccia's in a really good spot.
Well, what about for someone listening right now, how do they play a part in spreading the word of boccia, of getting more people involved? Are we talking community clubs? Are we talking Australian Paralympics? Are we talking about schools? Like, where is a tangible pathway for anyone who's listening now to assist in the growth of boccia in Australia?
Yeah, definitely. I guess, there'd be so many people out there I know, just like me, young kids who assume that because of their disability that sport just will never be an option for them. And I guess kind of the main thing that I've really wanted to do with my boccia career, aside from, my own personal success, is to really, I guess, make it easier for people like me, the kid that I was, to find a sport that they can play. When I was a young kid, I'd never heard of the sport of boccia, and most people are the same. So I think that's a really good starting place, is to have the discussion about boccia far more public and far more well-known. There's just still, and I really hope that this Tokyo experience will help to do that. But moving forward, it needs to be, I guess, more mainstream. And I guess the societal expectations of people with severe disabilities need to shift furthermore as well into the acceptance that sport is an option for everyone, not just for able-bodied people or people with minor disabilities, but actually everyone can play a sport, and there's a sport out there for everyone. So kind of that knowledge and that the recognition of that from the broader public will help a lot. And then more tangibly, of course, the more clubs, the more opportunities for people to play boccia at a low cost and in an easy fashion, close to home. All of those things go a long way as well into improving, the participation numbers and also obviously how that transpires into the high performance level.
This is the challenge of the interview. It's called
Fast Five.
Dan, what do you wish you had in the village but you can't get?
Oh, gosh, I wish I could get some, this is going to be super controversial. I wish I could get some good food, that's for sure. They've done a great job, but it's been a rough trot, that's for sure.
Don't worry, Dan, you're not the first to come to us with this, so it's okay.
We've had cheeseburgers, pizzas, nuggets, sushi.
Beer. Yeah. People have wanted a lot of the food. Dan, what's your superstition? Do you have any?
I don't, but I might have one now because on the day before my bronze medal match, I injured my toe getting my shoe off, and I couldn't put my shoe on the next day. So I ended up on the court with one shoe and one sock. And I won that match. So now going forward, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to two shoes.
Keep that. Yeah, no two shoes for you. One shoe, one sock.
That's mandated from here on in. Australia got too much joy out of that match.
That's right.
You've got to be shoeless, at least one shoeless, for the good of the country.
Yeah.
Mate, what is your favourite Paralympic moment?
There's so many. There is so many. I think one of the major ones for me was in Rio 2016. The opening ceremony was huge for me to be involved in. I love that. But also, I was courtside for the wheelchair rugby final, and to see that match go into double overtime and the Australian Steelers to get up in that game, it was a really inspiring moment for me, and really kind of drove me to want to be better and want to experience a moment like that in the future as well.
Look, mate, I would like to be the bigger man, but it's pretty obvious of you little rippy audiences that I'm not. Guess what? You made a choice then, Dan, because I was competing at the exact same time, and you chose Riley Pat.
Fair.
Well, there could be in two places at once. If I could have been, that would have been the moment to do it for sure.
There's no need to say that, Dan. You own that you prefer Riley Bat rather than Kurt Fearnley. You own that.
I can't hold it against him. The fella's he's adorable. How do you compete against Riley bloody Bat?
Who was your favourite teammate?
I don't know. I really appreciate and love Dani de Rozario, what she's done for the Paralympic movement in Australia. She's an absolute legend, and someone I really aspire to be like as well. The way she's carried the flag and really promoted the Paralympic movement in Australia, and promoted probably what I reckon is the best team culture that I've ever witnessed. So, I'd have to give massive props to her.
Yeah, legend.
Good choice.
Friend of the pod. Mate, if you weren't the bronze medalist, our second medalist in Boccia of all time, I hear you're a bit of a chess player. You have thrown that out there. But what other sport would you like to take place? Mine was pole vaulting.
Vaulting, wow.
I wouldn't be great at it, but that was my pick.
I'm a massive fan of American football, NFL. I'm a huge fan. I watch hours and hours of during the season. So I would love to play quarterback for sure for a football team. That would be awesome.
Who's your team? Dan?
So I was following the Rams, but now our quarterback moved to the Lions. So I'm kind of following both this year.
Okay, not bad. The correct answer, though, were the Broncos.
New York Giants.
Unfortunately,
wait,
no,
what?
It's the Broncos.
That's the Giants.
How dare you?
I don't know what you're even talking about, Georgie. Dan, thank you. You're a legend, mate. I love that bronze medal. Thanks for sharing it with all of Australia. Thanks for all the work you do to make sure that Boccia continues to grow in the country. I'm proud of you. Love your work. Congratulations. So happy for you. And from this pod to you, good luck with what's next. And we can't wait to see you in the green and gold again.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. So great to be here with you guys. It's been an amazing ride.
Well, we couldn't finish this show without touching base with the you little ripper moment, mine of the entire comp. Madison de Rozario, the first woman in a wheelchair to win the marathon at the Paralympic Games. You bloody ripper legend. How you feeling?
Good. You know what? I didn't even realize it was the first woman to win the marathon, and so I'm seeing everything after this. So it's unexpected. I definitely did not expect this result going in. I was hoping for a strong race in the rain and maybe a podium finish. So, to come away with this is amazing. And to kind of go silver and gold with Manuela is the best possible thing.
When did you know that you were going to win gold? What was the moment? What part of that last straight were you comfortable that you had it?
Oh, like maybe the last 2 meters, if I'm being really generous. Like the very end, like when I felt the rhythm like on my face, kind of like end of the race. No, I definitely thought she was going to catch me. That was the longest 500 meters of my career. And I could hear the commentary, and I could hear our Australian guys in the stands telling me she was catching me. But it was a stressful last lap, and I definitely didn't believe it until I actually crossed the line.
Mate, climbing that hill with about 4 kilometres to go, when you started to gap Manuela, what's going through your mind then?
I think I knew if I could create that gap, I could maybe hold it. Manuela gets down a hill really well. She crests hills really well, and she gets down them really well. So that's always a big concern going into races with her. So you don't have to just beat her to the top. You have to have quite a bit of gap on her. And so I was relieved I was able to do it. I didn't think I had that much left, but apparently it was enough. So, to get that gap with a bit of a, how much to go and hold it, I was, happy with that.
There's a photo that's going viral, Maddie, of you embracing your wonder coach in Louise Savage after the race. What was that moment like, and what did you say to each other?
I came out. It took a little while to get through to the mix zone. Louise was already crying, which makes me really emotional always. But this is the one we wanted for a really long time. The marathon, I think, it's not been my most consistent event by any means, and it's not always my best event, but it's definitely my favorite, and it's the one that makes me fall in love with wheelchair racing all over again every single time I do it. So to be able to come home and win this on the last day of Paralympics is, we couldn't have asked for a better day.
Mate, you've given so many people a lot of joy, and seeing your journey over the last week and a half, it's been incredible. I understand you've got a massive program coming out of these games. Where are you racing next?
I'm going to do my 2 weeks quarantine back in Australia, and then 2 days later I'll be on a plane with Jake Lappin to Berlin. We'll both race Berlin and London, maybe Chicago. But we'll focus on marathons for a little bit, and then next year we've got Commonwealth Games and the World Championships.
How do you celebrate?
I haven't even thought that far ahead. I was up at 2:30 this morning, just loving life, and I haven't really thought past this yet. So we'll see how it goes.
There's a lot of stress leading up to these games. What are you feeling now? Are you overjoyed? Are you emotional, or is it relief?
I think it's this is my first games and my first wins where it hasn't been just relief. There is a lot of relief happening right now, for sure. But I think this is the first time in my career that it's mixed with it's nice. It's such a good feeling. And I think even though we haven't had anybody in the stands, our Australian team has been so close here. I think everyone's been so on top of everybody's results. And because we spent so much time apart physically, everyone's been so on board with what everyone has been doing in the lead up. So I think every teammate, athletics, sort of part of athletics, it's all really been moving together, which is so nice. So it's kind of been, we really are, I think, sharing it all together, which doesn't always happen, and definitely doesn't always happen in individual sports. So these games have been really different, but really, really special.
How great is Madison?
Oh my goodness. Straight off the podium. I can't stress that enough. That is unreal to me. I just saw her on TV at the top of the podium, and then she's talking to us.
I know.
Still with the gold medal. Kurt, this has been such a wonderful opportunity to work with you and to get to really dive into the Paralympic Games, dive into the movement and learn so much more and just meet the athletes. I mean, not to brag, but I'm going to brag. We got so many wonderful people on the podcast. We had such great opportunities to talk to them and get to know more about them. And for me, you little ripper, it has just been an absolute pleasure.
It's been amazing. It really has. To help share the stories of these incredible humans, our representatives over this period of time. Thank you, but also thank you to every single listener out there.
Yes.
Thank you for the feedback that you've given. Thank you for sharing the stories of our Australian Paralympians on social media. Thank you for getting on and rating this podcast up really high. I hope that we get to do this again. I'm sure we will get to do this again.
Yes.
And so make sure you don't unsubscribe. Keep subscribing. Because we want to grow this. So we make sure that there is a platform for people with disabilities participating in sport that is celebrating every part of it.
And remember, as Kurt has told us, you aren't a Paralympic fan for 2 weeks. You're a Paralympic fan forever. So make sure you are supporting these athletes. It doesn't stop once that closing ceremony is finished. Tonight, I have been Georgie Tunny.
I've been mostly Kurt Fearnley.
And this has been
You Little Ripper!